Hey, Dan Candell here. Welcome to my office. This is where I see people and transform lives. That is what I call the magic chair of change, where people sit in that chair and they just change their lives utilizing the tools and the techniques I provide for them. And speaking of those tools and techniques, main tool that I teach is hypnosis. In fact, this is a precursor to the hypnosis training. Sort of think of it as like an introductory masterclass to hypnosis. So you can find out and discover how you can have intelligent, intellectual conversations with people about hypnosis. So you know the ins and outs before you take the more elaborate advanced training. This is kind of like an introductory basic training. Even if you already know things about hypnosis or think you know things about hypnosis, I still want you to go through this because it's going to provide a lot of insight and information into how we work with people. So I actually went through and put together a little bit of a slide deck because there are three ways in which people learn, which actually goes into hypnosis. People learn by hearing, seeing, and feeling. People who are more audio learners will learn better by listening to something, whether it be a lecture, a podcast, or even an audio book. So those are people who learn best by listening. And that's why I'm talking through this. I'm not just sending you a PDF or a manual or something like that. The second way people learn is by seeing. So that's why I have prepared some written words is to show you so that way you can look at what I'm talking about to illustrate the point. And the third is by a kinesthetic experience. These are people who learn through experiences. And that's why we offer the live training as well. So that way you get that hands-on experience. So bear with me for one moment. I'm just going to flip my screen around so you can see my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get into this. I have my cup of coffee in my office, and just so you know, I set up my office so it's like an oasis, a place I look forward to going to, because we really, I think, have three perspectives. There's I have to, I choose to, I get to. A lot of people, like, they have a day job or they go to work because they have to in order to contribute to society and be a responsible human being. So there's things that we have to do in order to maintain that. Then there's things we choose to do. And I chose to decorate my office like this, so it's a place I feel like I get to be. And I remember last week I walked into my office, and I'm like, I'm seeing 6 people today. I get to see 6 people today. I don't have to. I don't choose to. I get to see 6 people today. And I get to be here all day and spend time here in this oasis. So when you get to that point, that level of I get to, you feel so much better. You feel like a weight is lifted off your shoulders. So just wanted to share that with you. So let's get into myths and misconceptions about hypnosis. Where do these myths and misconceptions come from, or these false perceptions? Well, number one, a lot of them come from media. A lot of them come from the movies, hypnosis in Hollywood. There was a hypnotist on Law and Order SVU not too long ago that was hypnotizing people to kill other people, and mind control, brainwashing, things like that, which of course is not true. Another place these myths and misconceptions come from is also stage shows, some stage shows, not all of them. And I have to say, full disclosure, I'm also a stage hypnotist, a comedy stage hypnotist, but I do empowerment in my shows as well. So I turn people into super confident people in my shows, and I teach them how to also be the star in the show and how to be the star in their own lives. So I call it the star success system. Now, some shows, though, appear to be mind control, but I have to tell you, stage hypnosis is 100% different than what we do here in the office. Therapeutic hypnosis is all about helping people get in touch with their own inner realm of healing and providing tools of healing and overcoming past traumas or changing habits or things like that. So also religion is another place where we get myths and misconceptions about hypnosis. Some religious institutions teach that hypnosis is evil, satanic, or mind control, which can't be further from the truth, all right? So let's get into some of these myths and misconceptions now. So one of them is that hypnosis is sleep, right? I mean, sometimes when people are hypnotized, it appears that they're sleeping like that. Now, hypnosis can be very relaxing But hypnosis is not sleep. It can sometimes resemble sleep, but it's not sleep. If a person was sleeping while they were hypnotized, they wouldn't benefit from the messages that the hypnotist is giving them. Another is that hypnosis is mind control. Hypnosis actually is not mind control, far from it. In fact, we use hypnosis to teach people how to take control over certain patterns or programs that may be out of or beyond their control. Hypnosis is a technique, a tool that we use to teach people how to take control over habits, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions, perceptions, and such as that. So we're actually, a hypnotist is like a GPS. In fact, I tell people, if this was mind control or brainwashing, this would be Gucci or Prada, and it's not. So hypnosis is not mind controlled, it's far from it. And hypnotists cannot control you because they can't make you do something you don't want to do. And that also brings us into our next one, that you can get stuck in hypnosis. Some people think that that you can get stuck in a hypnotic trance. And again, this has never happened. It can't happen. People can't get stuck in hypnosis. What can happen, though, is after a stage show or something like that, people can sometimes feel so relaxed, they might feel like a little dopey afterwards, almost like they drank a couple of glasses of wine or something like that. But that will only last a very short time. We call it like the hypno hangover. So sometimes people can feel so relaxed afterwards or so good, or they might feel a little loopy. And again, it's usually after a stage show, not after a hypnosis session. Sometimes people can feel a little tired because they're doing like a mental workout almost. So, but you cannot get stuck in hypnosis. That is a myth and a misconception. And again, these are all myths and misconceptions that you want to clear up with your clients as well, because I can't tell you how many times a person would say, oh, I never really thought about that, but I could see myself thinking about that while you're hypnotizing me. Oh, what happens if I get stuck in hypnosis? So people will say, I'm glad you covered that. All right. Hypnosis can make you tell the truth or be used for a lie detector or a truth serum as another fallacy. A lot of people think that, in fact, I've gotten these calls many times before. Dan, can I bring my husband in and you hypnotize him and you make him reveal his hidden secrets, fantasies, desires, and what he's been doing on his business trips? Look, if you have to ask, you probably already know. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Hypnosis cannot make you tell the truth or be used for a lie detector. In fact, if we asked a person in hypnosis to tell the truth about something, they'd be a better liar while they're hypnotized because they're more relaxed and they can mask that. In fact, there have been people who through hypnosis have beat lie detector tests. Okay, so that's why you can't hypnotize criminals and get a conviction out of them. It doesn't work that way. Also, people will think sometimes that hypnosis is an altered state. And depending on what books you read and what theories you subscribe to, some people believe that hypnosis is an altered state of consciousness. And it really isn't. It's just a state in which we're getting into your subconscious mind. It can be a more relaxed state, but it's a state in which you are completely aware. So before I'm about to hypnotize people, I will share these myths and misconceptions. Let me just make sure. Oh, there we go. And the last one is that hypnosis can make you do something you do not want to do. And it can't. This is both good and bad, okay? And this goes back to hypnosis as in mind control. It's good that hypnosis is not mind control, because if you met an evil hypnotist, if they were out there, which I don't know how it would happen, but if you met an evil hypnotist, they can't hypnotize you to go dance in traffic naked or to go rob a bank and then bring back all the money and forget they did it or anything like that. Can't do any of that, all right? Hypnosis hypnosis can't make you do something you don't want to do, and that's also not so good. And here's why. You think we see clients in here who know they should make a change, but they don't want to? Their life has been operating perfectly fine as, let's say, smoking, for example. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, there's this one doctor that repeatedly sends me people who smoke. And I only take a very small percentage of them because the doctor tells them, oh, he's going to make you quit smoking. And they'll say, well, I want to quit smoking. And he'll say, well, you have the surgery coming up and you need to stop smoking before you have the surgery. So they don't want to. And there's nothing I can do or tell them. Yeah, I could put them in the deepest hypnotic trance and tell them they'll never smoke again. And guess what? If they really don't want to, it won't work. That's also why people who come in think hypnosis is a magic wand. To be honest with you, it's bullshit. Hypnosis is not a magic wand. There are people that come in that want to lose weight and they say, oh, this is great. I'm only going to eat a tenth as much as I normally eat. No, that's not true. It still requires some work and effort on your part. What you're doing, though, is you're teaching the client how to utilize these tools and resources to take control back over their lives. But they have to have a desire. They have to have a motivation, expectation, and belief in order to be hypnotized, and a willingness in order to be hypnotized in a therapeutic setting and to get results. One more is that not everybody can be hypnotized, and that is a misconception. Theoretically, everybody can be hypnotized, but not everybody can be hypnotized the same way at the same time. So different strokes for different folks. On stage, when I'm doing a stage show, if you've seen my stage show, you see that there is a part in the show where I actually dismiss some people from stage and I have them sit back in the audience and enjoy the show from the audience. It does not mean those people cannot be hypnotized, but in a stage show, I am using my method and I am fitting those people to my method because I have to use one method that works for most of the people most of the time, the most susceptible people. And on stage, that's what I'm doing. In an office setting, you learn how to hypnotize people utilizing methods that work for them, okay? And there's different ways for you to uncover what methods are going to work best for them. So in the office, you should be fitting your method to the client instead of fitting the client to your method. So you should be flexible, all right? So yes, theoretically, everybody can be hypnotized, but not the same way at the same time. There's a couple other things about this as well. There are people that we shouldn't hypnotize, like people who have severe mental disorders. You should not hypnotize. There are some people that are so far gone, such as severe forms of autism, it's very difficult to tap into their reality because they're already in a different state of mind, in a different state of being. So if a person cannot follow instructions or directions, they cannot be hypnotized. And that's the case with many forms of, and I don't mean to say it this way, but for lack of better terms, mental retardation. If a person cannot follow simple instructions or suggestions, they cannot be hypnotized. Also, children, smaller children, they're already in a receptive state. And we're going to go through the 5 things that take a person into a receptive state. So these are some myths and misconceptions. What I want you to do is your homework assignment. I want you to at least start thinking about how you're going to talk about this with other people and share myths and misconceptions so that people know the reality of hypnosis, what it is and what it isn't. And I want you to start having intelligent, intellectual conversations with people about the myths and misconceptions about hypnosis. So there you go, my friends. Some myths and misconceptions for you to get started, so that way you're one step closer into the reality of hypnosis. So with that said, be well, do good, be true to who you are. And thank you so much for signing up for the Expert Hypnosis Pre-Training. Talk to you very soon.